Let's go over the top 10 small forwards to target in your Yahoo head-to-head points drafts coming up next on Beat the Odds. Don't go anywhere. Hello sports fans and welcome back to another episode of Beat the Odds. I've got my top 10 small forwards to draft in head-to-head points leagues. If you like the sound of that, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell so that way you don't miss an episode. I will be posting valuable fantasy basketball content all season long. Do you have a burning fantasy basketball question that you want an expert to answer? Ask me on Q. Go to askmeonq.com/beattheodds-NBA, submit your question, and I will give you a personal audio response right to your email. You can even send me screenshots of your team so that way I can use that in my review. It's super easy to do and it's a great way to get fantasy basketball advice while also supporting this channel. Now let's dive into this list here. At number 10 we have Brandon Ingram. From a per game standpoint, Ingram is worth a look in drafts. With CJ McCollum shifted to the 2 and DeJounte Murray running the point, the Pelicans still do not have a pure facilitator. Any of Brandon Ingram, CJ, DeJounte, or even Zion can chip in 5 assists on any given night. It will take some time for this new group to gel, but I expect that BI will still play a major role in this offense when it's all said and done. Let's go to number 9, we have Miles Bridges. Bridges will be my sell high candidate this season as I expect him to start the season as the number 2 option in Charlotte, but I don't expect him to finish the year there as he's more likely to lose that spot to sophomore Brandon Miller, or he might get traded at the deadline if the Hornets are sellers. If you are going to roster Bridges, you will be pleased with his rebounding and of course his scoring abilities. Let's go to number 8, we have Jalen Johnson. Surprisingly, Johnson is going to check in at number 8 on this list. That's only because he hasn't started his ascent into the next tier of small forwards yet. The only thing holding him back is his scoring, and I fully expect that he's going to approach 20 points per game this season. Add the extra 4 points to his current score, and suddenly you have a top 3 small forward. Johnson is going to be my reach in drafts this season. Let's go down to the list here. At number 7, we have Kyle Kuzma. Kuzma can be easily forgotten in the first 10 rounds of most drafts because he's not an effective shooter and he turns the ball over too much. He has the potential to be a top 5 small forward in this format, however. He's going to be counted upon to provide scoring as the team lacks another option outside of Jordan Poole. Kuzma makes a sneaky good pick if you can get him in the 9th round. Let's go to number 6. We've got Paul George. Now I'm uncertain as to how George is going to fit in Philly, but chances are he's going to provide enough value to justify a 5th round selection. George will be elite if Embiid misses time, which is almost certainly going to be a thing in my books, and he still will be useful as a member of the Big 3. Now I count on fewer points per game this season, but I think he will still approach 2 stocks a game, which will be crucial for his value. To number 5 we go. We have Kawhi Leonard. If he plays in March and April, he will be the best small forward that you can draft. It might just be a gut feeling, but I think that the chances of that are not good enough to draft him within the first 2 rounds. Leonard would also be in a class of his own in any other format, but when you take away his percentages, he lands much closer to his peers. Kawhi presents one of the biggest risks to draft this season. Let's go to number 4. We have Jimmy Butler. Butler represents an intriguing player to consider in fantasy. On one hand, he's been a solid contributor with his ability to impact the game on so many levels. On the other hand, of course, is he's starting his age 35 season, and we saw a decline in his defensive metrics, which has been his calling card for so many years. The days for reaching for Butler are over. You should be able to find him in the 4th round. Let's go to number 3. We got DeMar DeRozan. DeMar will get you the floor that you need to feel secure at the starting small forward position. You can count on his mid-range game to produce a healthy amount of points, plus he's been a solid rebounder and playmaker of late. It's difficult to project DeRozan's going to have a better season than he did last year given the cast that he's surrounded by, but he will still be able to find a way to be impactful on your fantasy team. To number 2 we go. We have Jaylen Brown. Jaylen gets a bump in this format because I'm anticipating that he's going to post over 2 stocks again this season like he was showing us in the playoffs last year. His role is very well defined on the Celtics, and his ceiling is capped, of course, with Jason Tatum in tow, but that's not going to stop Brown from posting 3rd round value. We can ignore free throw percentages in this format as well, which makes Brown even more valuable. And finally at number 1, we got Lauri Markkanen. I honestly struggled to put him in number 1 in this format because, as I have mentioned before, small forward is the weakest position in fantasy basketball with no real true superstars. I am going to go with Markkanen because he's going to be the safest number 1 option out of all the players on this list. He's a threat to go 20-10 on any given night. And of course, his latest contract suggests that the Jazz plan on running a lot of offense through him this year. And that's going to do it here for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like on the video and of course subscribe to the channel for more content like this. I'm going to sign off for now, but I'm going to catch you guys on the next episode.